Okay, what is an enumeration? Enumeration is actually when we need constant values. So this is called, we will say enum, it is for enumerations. It is when we use, as I said, like very constant set of values, like genders. So it can be male or the female, or weekdays. It can be Monday, Tuesday, and to up to Sunday. So for those kind of cases, we can define enumerations, and then like a data type. And then let me give you an example for this. Here is an example. Let's say that in your game you have these three levels, low, medium, high, and now we define it with this keyword enum, and then we give it a name, like this is the level, and then we said, okay, we will have these three values. So when we have this, we will see that we can optionally define constructors, some methods and attributes for the enumerations for these enums. And the values that we define here will be final, so that we cannot change it. And they will be static, so that we don't need to create we don't create an instance of an enum. We don't create like if you have an enum for weekdays, we don't create its instance. And later on we will see that, okay, it also has this values part, functions that we can use. But before going into all these details, like, why do we need this? Like, let's say that I'm now going back a little bit again. Now, this is all details. They're final, they're static, okay, and so on and so. But the main question is first, okay, why do I need enum? This kind of a variable type. Like, let's say that with this, we need these directions, north, south, east, and west. I need this kind of very specific data type. Can't I do it with some other ways? Like, I'm defining a data type that can take only these 4 variables. Like, what if, like, I could define also constant strings and static constant strings that you cannot change, and I can define 4 of them. Like, I could say, no, this is north, this is west, east, and south. And then I can use that data type also. What is the advantage of this? Instead of that, what we are doing is now, no. We will define a data type enum, and it will have only these 4 variables, not the fifth. It won't have any fifth data type. So where can we use it? Well, then you can use it as give it a parameter to a function. You can like do this kind of part. So I will use that data type. But now I'm introducing a data type that can take these cases. But why not? I'm not using as, let's say, string constant for it. Do you have any idea about it? Yes, please.
Like because it functions like you're defining a class, an object.
Okay.
Because when you're defining an object, you usually give it a method that it could do and the type it could be. So you're trying to define what this is, like what is a direction. So it can only be a node for this.
Yes.
So you're basically defining an object.
Yeah, well, actually, you went into even further slides that we didn't see it yet. Yeah, enums are actually objects that we define later on. But my first motivation is like, why? Why shouldn't I use string constants, static string constants for these directions? But I define a data type for it. Yes, please.
To escape from writing whole class?
Actually, I am here defining a class. Like, I define a class here, for instance. I'm saying that I need 3 levels that can be low, medium, high. I could also do it like string, constant, static, final, level, low, and also another static, final, string, medium. So I could also just define 3 variables for that one. But instead, I'm defining a data type. I'm saying, okay, I will have a level, a data type called level. It can take only these 3 variables.
Level, it's like a integer or string or
It can, well, in this case, no, it's like the data itself. That it doesn't, yeah, here is it. It's not a number, it's not a string. It is, the level is the data type. It can take only 3 values, and its type is level.
So creates a small variable.
So the thing is, let me go, like, I could also write it, define some static constant strings for these directions, like 4 of them, or for the levels. But then it means that now when I define a function, at the end of the day they are strings. So I am actually giving other people to, like, let me say it in this way. I define a function that takes enums, okay? And then it will do some operations on it. But instead of doing that, then I could also write the same function that will take strings. But then it means that people can give it any string. Like, I'm saying that I'm forcing that, okay, there are only 3 levels, but if I had defined it with a string, then what could happen is that they could also provide some other strings, and their values are different, like maybe mid-level, super high, extremely high, or so. But what I'm trying to, or they could even give me some meaningless strings, like hello as a level. Okay, I don't want this to happen. So what I'm doing here is basically, I'm forcing them, okay, this is a new data type. This is not a string. This is the level. Or this is not a string for directions. This is the direction itself as the data type. So that I'm not allowing them to give me some kind of a weird data for my cases. I'm forcing them to give me only these 3 cases. So this is one of the ways to use the enums. And here is what you can do. Like, again, we define this enum by using enum keyword, and then its name. And then between the curly brackets, I just define these cases. Like, I need this data type has only these 3 values. Low, medium, yeah, there's one M missing, so it should be medium, not idiom. Anyway, and then high. Then, how can I use it? I just defined it. Well, in my code now, I will use this level as a data type. Like, you see that I say level my var. So now it becomes like a data type for me. And then, but when I define it, I don't say new level. It's not an object like this. It's like a static data. So I say level.medium, so it gets that value. Yes, please.
So why it's out of all classes?
Oh, that's a good question. It does not have to be, but you can also do it in this way. Just to, yeah. I mean, I could also put it in this class function, or I could even put it in, but it won't change it. So later on, I will also probably do it in a single Java file. I will define multiple classes, and we will see it later on. But for now, it means that, yeah, it's just an enum that you can use it in this main class. Yes.
Enum is like we're creating a class, right?
Yes.
And whatever is in the class is a fixed object, like we cannot change it.
Yes, it's a fixed data type. Yes.
When do we use it? Like how will the class work?
When will we use it?
Yeah.
Like, again, if I'm defining, let's say that I defined students. So for a student, I want to keep also their gender. Then what should be the data type of a gender for a student? I can say that it can be string, okay? So then if I make it string, what will happen is that you need to type male, female, or only M, F, whatever kind of things. So you can keep it as a string. But then when you keep the gender as a string, what might happen is that then for a gender, I can write Ferrari there, okay? So the student's gender will be Ferrari. The other one will be, I don't know, whatever it is. It can be anything. So but when I do it as an enum, then I said, okay, the gender, its data type will be enum, and I define the gender as an enum, and it will be male and female. Then I'm forcing you to say, okay, it can be only male or female. You cannot put a Ferrari as a gender.
So it's like we're receiving specific information, but it is in a boundary. You can't leave a boundary, for example, a male or female.
Yes, and also for the direction, like there's only north, south, east, and west. So I can also make it as a string, but then again, I could put my Ferrari there also as a direction, but I don't want it to happen. So that's why actually I'm putting some restrictions on my data type, that I'm sure that it has to be only these cases. Yes, please.
But we still can use the condition functions, like why for.
Yes, like again, here also, like, look at this. I'm using it in a switch cases. Like, what is my var? If it is low, I'll do this. If it is medium, I will do this. If it is high, I will do this. I can use it like for this equal signs, if I can do this comparison. And I can use it like in a while statement until it becomes low or whatever it is. I can do all these comparisons. Yes, I can do that. I can check if the gender is male, if gender is female. So I can do all these comparisons. Yes, please.
Do you not need a default statement as well?
In that one, yeah, we didn't put, but here is the good thing with this. I cannot have any other fourth value. So now I force it to be a level, which has only 3 values. So actually I don't need a default case here because there cannot be a fourth type. Then what is an enum? How actually it is implemented in Java? Well, actually, when we say enum, Java actually creates a class for it. So we don't write Java as a class, we just write enum. But what Java does is, when we say enum, let's say this color, we have this red, green, blue. Internally, this is how it is implemented in Java. So we have a class, its name is color, and it has all these 3 attributes in which they are static, public, final. They are all constants and statics. And their names that are the types that I had written there, red, blue, green. And they are color types. So this is the data type that I defined. So I'm defining a class, and its attribute is also the same class. So this is kind of an interesting part. So I define a class, and I use that class as an attribute for it. And then it's already initialized with no values in it, but just new color. So when I write enum color with this red, green, blue, Java internally converts that data and makes it in this way. So that we create this data type in which I can only have these 3 cases, red, green, and blue. And this is, again, this is the color, this is the class type, and this is the static objects. Since it is actually, from a Java perspective, technically it's a class, that's why for enums I can also create some attributes that I might want to use. I can even create some, I can create a constructor for it, and I can create some functions for it. So it's like because technically, actually it's a class, but we just, like a very limited class, I can say it. For instance, let's say that I want to create an, again, enum for traffic light because I have only 3 values, 3 lights for it, green, yellow, and red. And maybe, okay, I might have a duration value, like how long it will take. Like green is for 50 seconds, yellow 40, and red is 60, for instance. So for that one, that's why I introduced this kind of a duration for each type. And then I here write this, 54, 60. Why is that? Well, because I also now, when I'm creating a traffic light object, when I'm trying to create an instance, now we will use this duration, which actually what we are doing here is we are creating that object by using this constructor, which basically sets its duration for green 50, for yellow 4, and for red 60. We are still creating a constant value, constant object, but it has a duration, and we set duration attribute, and we set it different values for each. And then what I can do is now, when I create this function, maybe I want to get its duration, like if it is green, how much is it? So I can also even create some functions that I might use for this kind of a traffic red light. Let's see one example for this, then I'll take your questions. Like I created this one, again, here is what it is. And then I'm using, again, traffic light, some variable name, and then I say traffic light.green. So I create this green traffic light. But know that I don't need to say, is it 50 seconds or not? So that 50 is also fixed. I just say green. As a user of that enum, I don't care its duration. It is also fixed. And then what I can do is, now enums has this value of color, value of function, sorry. So it's also possible that you can you either write it in this way by using traffic light.green, or from traffic light.value of, then you put there a string which is the name of these, green, yellow, red. So in this case it is green, so that it initializes this light state value. So these are all possible. And each enums has a toString function. Basically, toString returns the value, the name of that value, so which is either green, yellow, or red. So if you look at the output of this, so light state value is, which is written there, is green. And when we call this toString function, it also gives you the name of that value. So when I said that, okay, we have these genders, male or female, it's not a string, it's just data type its own. But if you want, you can also convert it to a string if you want to operate it in that way. And when I have these traffic lights, if I want to get, okay, what are the possible values that I can get? Like for a gender, I can get male, female, and Ferrari, for instance. If I implement it this way, how can I know it with this? I can use it with this values part, values function. So it will give me what are the possible cases. So in this case, it will give me, and I want to note one more thing also here. I didn't implement the values function here, as you see. It's already implemented. So I didn't implement values. I didn't implement it toString. I don't need it, but still it comes with all the enum functions so that I can go over all possible cases like green, yellow, and red. And for each cases then, how will I use this getDuration function? Where will I use it? Well, I will use it, like for instance in this case, I iterate over this. The values give me a list of possible items, so I iterate over them. And in each cases, if I just say state, which is in this case my traffic light, getDuration, it returns me the value that I defined here at this point. So in short, for enums, you can create constructors, you can create methods for them, and you can iterate all the possible enum values that you defined. And it has also this toString function to convert that value to a string. And you can even, from a string value, you can create an enum function by using this value of method. Any question now?
Can you back two slides?
2 slides, 1, 2, that one, yes.
Is this enum represent instance inside the class?
Yes. So this is an actual like an instance. Yes, we created like now it's an object instance.
This one.
Yeah. It is now a class instance. Yes. Yes, please.
Like when you do green, like is that like when you're doing like a dictionary? Does it like the dictionary?
Can you say it again, please? I didn't understand.
Yeah, like because you do like yellow file, you're like assigning a key to a value. Is that like a dictionary?
Oh, I see.
Dictionary data type.
It is not a dictionary. So dictionary, like in Python, yeah, we have a dictionary, which means basically we have key value pairs. But here, it is not. It is actually like a class. Now, like go back to here. Like I have this red, blue, and green. What I'm doing here is when I define an attribute, I call, when I say 50, it actually gives this 50 as a parameter to here, to the constructor. And that's why actually I implemented this constructor that takes this duration parameter. Because when Java converts this enum definition to this kind of a class definition, it will need a constructor that takes a parameter for the duration so that it will set its duration parameter to 50 or 4 or 60.
So I have another question.
Sure.
About, inheritance. Is it?
Okay, we didn't come to that point yet, but yes. Yes, go ahead, please.
Does it exceed the inheritance of the class? Because it seems you can get it from anywhere.
I didn't understand your question, sorry.
Is it override the class inheritance?
Well, so we didn't come to the inheritance topic yet, and yet for now this is not related to inheritance. So what we are basically saying is enums is just another class definition in which you put constant values in that. And here we are not overriding it, we are just defining functions that we can use for these enum values. We are not overriding any function right now. All right, sure. Yes, good.
Now, you put green and the parameter 50.
Yes.
What does that mean?
It means that I will have a green value and its duration will be 50.
Okay. I didn't understand that duration. Can you explain?
So this is an attribute that I want to put. Like for a traffic light, I need this kind of a variable, like green, yellow, red. Or for a game, maybe you might have this level, high, medium, low, and for each word, maybe you will put a difficulty level, like 50, 40, whatever it is. So I could also define, I don't know, for these cases, another attribute that I want to put if I need it. So let me actually, maybe I can do it in this way. So I need, assuming that I need this attribute, duration, for my this fixed values. So then how can I set it? Because it's not anymore only green. I want to say, okay, it's green and its duration is 50. It's yellow and its duration is 4.
Can we put green and two parameters 50 and another thing?
Yes, we can define it.
And in the constructor, I need to put two parameters.
Exactly, yes. If I had like maybe duration and also the size of the lamp, I don't know, the power of the lamp, whatever it is needed, okay? So I have two attributes then I need to define it also here, the second one, and I need a constructor that takes two parameters, and then it will set those there, and when I'm defining those greens and 50, these cases, then I also need to change it here. I need to say green, 50, and whatever the value of this other attribute is, I need to also put it there.
Thank you.
Yes, please.
So doesn't that mean the duration, it just assigns random values to each of the, is the number, did we fix the number or?
Yes, we fixed the number. Yes, we are also fixing the number. So it's not random. I want to say that okay, it should be 50. It should be 4. Yeah, and yes, we fixed it. It is in this case it is fixed. Yes, please.
The variable is private, so how do you access it like with the get all values?
Duration is private, but I have a public function.
Yeah, for the get duration, but when you go to like the next slide, when you show the code,
Yes.
yes, you did here traffic light dot value or dot value.
So for the duration, I'm using this get duration.
Okay.
So it
What's the dot value?
that values just gives me green, yellow, red, whatever data types I have. So if I had an enum for gender, it would give me male and female. If I had an enum for direction, it would give me north, south, east, west.
Victor, is the values built-in function?
So yeah, we are not implementing it, but yes, Java is, you can assume that like it is putting it for ourselves. So values is not, we didn't implement it there, but it is there. We also have this toString function. I will talk about it, why we have toString function. It is related to inheritance, by the way, why we have this toString function. So yeah, they are not implemented, but we do have it coming from due to the inheritance.
I mean, can't we grab the duration from from built-in function, another built-in function inside enum?
Can you say it again, please? I didn't understand. So we have.
Can't
Go ahead,
we
please.
get the duration also from built-in function?
Oh,
inside?
no, because this duration is a value that we just came up with. Like, I thought that, okay, for my class I need a duration. So this is not coming from Java. Java cannot say, okay, for a traffic light then should be a duration value. This is my own design to say that for a traffic light I need a duration. I could even say that, like, for a traffic light I need a duration and also the electricity power needed for that light. I don't know if, or maybe how large that lamp would be. So this is all my design decisions. So it's not coming from the Java. You cannot get it from the built-in or functions. All right. We've seen this part. So overall, well, as a general recommendation when we are defining classes, well, try to make attributes private only for, and provide their getters and the setters. Avoid making them public unless you really have to do it. And class names start with an uppercase, so this is the main convention. And method names and the variable names start with a lowercase. And of course, you know that we have to make the names always meaningful as much as possible. For each classes, it's really important to write a command why this class is written. What does it represent? This is also an important part. And I think that's it for this section. I think let's give 1 minute break for attendance, and then we will continue. So let me close this.